Common note number 2. Divine Quran disallows non-veg food. Verse number 5 of chapter 16 states, He created the cattle for men. He has provided the cattle for warm clothing and for giving man many other benefits, and men are eating them. Comments 1. The above verse number 5 of chapter 16 is simple and is very clear. It means that animals like the above are not to be eaten by men. 2 other relevant provisions on the above subject are set out hereafter. Verse number 168 of chapter 2 states, Men should eat out of the various products produced from earth, Walarji, which are good and pure, Tayyibawala Tattabiyuyu in Arabic, and permitted, Halalau. People should not follow the wrong path shown by Satan, Shaita in Arabic, because he is an enemy of humans. Comments. The above verse clearly lays down that products produced from earth, Walarji, are good and pure. These are permitted foods. This verse clearly calls animal food as satanic food. Therefore, it would be a very shocking proposition to say that the satanic food is permitted. The above verse defines as to what is good and pure food. This expression is confined to the products produced from earth. Divine Quran certainly disallows animal non-veg food. 2. Verse number 121 of chapter 6 states, One should not partake of food not permitted by Rabbi Creator. Otherwise, a wrong would be committed. Satan, Shayatina in Arabic, will ask their friends to argue with them. If they obey them, they may fall in the category of polytheists, mushrikun, because they would be following Satan. 3. Verse number 142 of chapter 6 states, Allahu Creator has created cattle to be used for different purposes. Some could carry burden on their backs. Others may be used for different purposes. However, one should eat the food, created by Allahu Creator. Satan, Shaita in Arabic, should not be followed, as he will mislead only, being their enemy. Comments. Therefore, as a rule, Divine Quran disallows non-veg food. 4. Verse number 38 of chapter 6 states, All animals on the earth or in it and all birds in the air have life as his, Nabi. All these may strive to reach him. Comments. The above verse clearly declares that life, soul, of animals and birds is like that of humans and can reach the gardens, Jannat. In view of the above, violence on birds animals cannot be justified. Otherwise, the above verse was not needed at all. The purpose of the verse is to declare that the killing of these animals and birds is not permitted, and their killing is like killing of humans. Verse number 205 of chapter 7 states, Think of Rabbaka Creator as being within him as his soul. 6. Verse number 21 of chapter 23 states, From cattle, humans may learn a lesson. He has caused these cattle to yield milk for drinking along with other benefits, but humans eat up the cattle. Comments. The above verse is a clear indication of Rabbi Creator disallowing eating of meat, etc. 7. Verse number 69 of chapter 16 states, Men should eat of the fruits and be obedient of and believers in Rabbiki Creator. The fruits also yield liquors of many colors, which are good for humans. The wise people may ponder over this. Comments. The above verse further confirms that those who partake of food other than vegetarian are really disobeying Rabbi's Creator's orders and therefore fall in the category of non-followers of his ways. 8. Verse number 37 of chapter 22 states, "What reaches Rabbi Creator is their piety, effects of their good deeds." Rabbi Creator does not need flesh or blood of the animals. Persons should feel grateful to Rabbi Creator and repeat his name, follow his guidance as explained in chapter 1. This will be good news to convey to others who are also doing good acts. Comments: The above verse clearly indicates that killing of animals by way even of sacrifice cannot please Rabbi Creator. He does not need non-veg food. 9. Verse number 53 of chapter 20 states, "He has created the earth. He sent down rains from above on earth, and from which man has grown crops, herbs, etc. of different kinds." Kiss smiley verse number 54 of chapter 20 states, "Men may eat what grows, and his cattle may graze in the pastures." These are sufficient signs, indications, for the wise persons. 11. Verse number 51 of chapter 23 states, "He said to Apostle Messenger, Prophet Muhammad, that he should eat of good and pure things, tayyibati wa malu, and do good deeds. He knows whatever they do." Comments: What is good and pure food has been described in verse number 5 of chapter 16 above as a product produced from earth. 12. Verse number 79 of chapter 40 states, "Allahu Creator has created animals. Some of them may be used for carrying loads, riding to cover distances and reach their destinations. However, men are eating some of them." 13. Verse number 267 of chapter 2 states, "O obedient ones, give away only that which they have honorably acquired and is in proper condition, whether it be as a part of the produce from earth or from their earnings. Do not give away what they may have refused to accept being bad." Comments: The above verse indicates that produce from earth should be given as charity. This food should be in good condition. Therefore, it does not permit non-veg food being given as charity. 3. Specific prohibition. 14. Verse number 173 of chapter 2 states, "Partaking of meat of dead animal, blood, meat of swine and any other meat which has been obtained by invoking any name," explained in chapter 1, "other than of Ilahi Creator." However, under compulsion, a limited deviation may be made and made in good faith. Innallaha Creator is merciful and can forgiver. Comments: This verse is subject to the preceding verse numbers 168 and 172 of chapter 2. The above provision has to be read carefully. In practical terms, it may be difficult for a consumer to know whether a certain piece of meat was of a dead animal or not. Secondly, it may also be difficult to know as to whether Rabbi's Creator's name was recited at the time of killing of the animal. Thirdly, traces of blood cannot completely be taken away from the body of the killed animal or even washed away, which traces of blood remain hidden in layers of flesh. The smallest tissue in a body of any animal, etc., is supplied blood through very thin arteries. The moment heart stops beating, the circulation of blood stops, except that the bigger arteries may drain out or drip out, the blood being in larger quantity. Therefore, practically speaking, flesh and thin traces of blood cannot be separated completely. Thus, by forbidding intake of blood, eating of meat is really forbidden. Meat of swine can easily be passed off as that of another animal. In substance, the above verse really shuts out non-vegetarian diet. The verses set out above show that the purpose of remembering reciting the name of Rabbi Creator is to recall that a. Rabbi Creator does not eat or need flesh or blood, b. that life of animal and life of man are equal to Rabbi Creator, etc. By remembering Rabbi Creator, one will recollect that an animal or bird should not be killed at all. C. The specific prohibition in the above verse should not be interpreted to mean that other kinds of meat are permitted. This provision has to be read subject to the various provisions disallowing non-veg food. One may in unavoidable circumstances partake of meat, etc., as an absolute necessity. The exception should not be made a rule. This would be deliberate disobedience of the divine Quran revealed by Allahu Rabbi Khuda to Prophet Muhammad. Flesh eaters cannot reach gardens, Jannat, in view of the above clear provision. 15. Verse number 36 of chapter 41 states, always remember Billahi Creator. This will avoid Satan influencing him. Comments. This verse clarifies as to what remembering Rabbi Creator means. Obviously, this has reference to his revelation, the Quran. Also see comments under chapter 1. 16. Please also inter alia see verse numbers 1 to 4, 88, 94 to 97, 113 to 116 of chapter 5, verse numbers 37, 38, 136 to 138, 146 of chapter 6, verse number 32 of chapter 14, verse numbers 6 to 11, 65 to 69, 115 of chapter 16, verse number 33 of chapter 17, verse numbers 19 to 21 of chapter 23, verse number 80 of chapter 40, verse numbers 10 to 40 of chapter 56. 17. In view of the above verses, it may be submitted quite clearly and without any doubt that divine Quran disallowed non-veg food. However, only in emergent and unavoidable situations, non-veg food could be permissible. 4. Verse number 116 of chapter 3 states, for the disobedient in Minallahi Creator and not following the guidelines principles given in book, they are to be in hell to face the fire. 5. Why this indifference of Mohammedans to correctly reading and understanding the divine Quran, particularly when many verses thereof lay down penalties? For example only, verse number 174 of chapter 2 states, those who hide or misinterpret any part of the revelation made in writing, book, will be swallowing the fire on the day of judgment.